Oh, happy Aloha Friday, everyone. Thursday was another solid session for the overall market with all of the index up across the board. However, I think that the NASDAQ has now been up 15 of 17 sessions. And whenever we look at the price compared to the 200-day moving average, it is clearly obvious that we are very extended. So if anybody is late to the bull camp and you're just now starting to get bullish, I really caution you going all in right here. We are extended. I would expect a pullback. However, we are so overbought and have been so overbought for so long that we might have a really strong market where we could build onto these gains for the next week or two based on the historical Wilders RSI ratings. I think using daily 2, whenever you use that, you can see that the RSI has been overbought for 5 straight days over the 90 level. That's the second time that's happened this year, and it hasn't happened since 1995. And whenever it happened back then, we would continue to go up for about another 2 weeks before we finally pull back. So if we're based on the just most recent signal, we should continue to see further gains despite us being this overbought. However, just like I said the last time you saw this video, we have green bop in the NASDAQ, and whenever green bop comes rolling around, normally you don't have too many more gains before a significant down session. But overall, everything's looking fine. Look at the Russell 2000 and just look how far that thing is extended from its 200-day moving average. Definitely a pullback should be in store for the market. However, today I only had one partial sell signal, but I want you to notice that this one overall it isn't that terrible, and it's still above the 20-day moving average. So I know that a few people are like, how come we're selling it if it's still above the 20-day moving average? Because it's already rolled over below the 10-day moving average, and with doing so, the relative strength line has been extremely weak. By the time that this kind of down day happens after the 6th day, I would expect this stock to definitely bounce. I'm without a doubt, I expect this stock to bounce here. The mere fact that it did not and it closed down on above average volume, that is not good, and I got to take that as a partial sell signal, so I have no problem selling 25%. It closes below the 20-day moving average tomorrow. It'll probably be another 25%. If it doesn't on heavy volume, maybe 50%. A stock like this that had such a great start in June on the 50-day moving average retake back here should not be acting like it is currently. With such a decently strong tape. Like I said, it isn't extremely bullish. And once again, if we were making these kind of moves with these green bars right here above this yellow line, followed by red bars below this yellow line, which we do not have yet again, it would be much easier to plow into stocks and get really long here way earlier even, but we just still cannot do that. And that's why tonight's new long BX is only going to be a 2% position in the risk account and 2% position in the non-risk account. No more, and possibly slightly less if the numbers don't round out evenly. But you can see here, very nice breakout for BX. Very strong volume on the breakout. Relative strength line, though, isn't hitting a new high yet, but whatever. It is this market. Still has some pretty strong other internal technical indicators to confirm the price and volume action. However, it is up almost 7% in one day. Once again, another big risky one-day move, just like we saw the session before in our two new long positions. Therefore, it's going to be, I'm going to split up my orders from a market order and then a limit order. And if I just have to guess by looking at this, we're talking about the 23 area. So I'm going to have my limit orders around the 23 area along with my market orders ready to go. But that's the only new long position. And like I said, I will be very quick to sell 50% if it doesn't move up right away. About the biggest lesson I learned today was an OSTK. I want to review this because I made a critical judgmental mistake. OSTK on this date right here became a full sell. We already partially sold it after we went long. We went long back here. It's right here. We went long. It did not move up right away. We cut some of our losses. Position the stock 75%. Had nice intraday tails and low volume on the pullback. Got some strong bops, so we held 25% of the position. It started to move up, gap down lower, sold 50%, and then I said with a 50-day moving average breach, we would sell all of it. So even though we still had a tiny position, it would still be nice to have a tiny position left in this stock for the move coming up. However, by barely closing below the 50-day moving average, I called that a 50-day moving average break. I should not have, because you had an intraday tail off the lows there on below average volume. With the current market and this also having support here, so let me draw the line. So this is kind of a video lesson tonight. Right here, there is no way I should have fully sold this position until a confirmation of this close below 50-day moving average. Remember, if this thing closes at 25.66 this day, it's a hold. 1 penny made a difference here. And so the next day, we got that 50-day moving average support, which is what I thought might happen with all the things lined up, but I wanted to be hard to my rules. This is where sometimes you can have a discretionary decision, because it wouldn't have cost me a lot if I would have let it fail one more day. The potential gains that were missed is much greater. And as you can see here with the gap up from the time where I sold it to where it is now, I just missed out on a 36% move. So once again, we'll be monitoring 50-day moving average breaks by a penny whenever you have support on a daily chart just not too far away, like a week and a half away, and also whenever you're doing it on lower volume and have an intraday tail. But that's the biggest lesson I learned today, is to watch leading stocks around that average and wait for confirmation, especially when you're in a strong uptrend, because that might happen.